Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the common application and specifically my common application secrets and tips that I use to get into the Ivy League that I hope you guys will apply as well to help you guys get into your dream colleges. My first and biggest secret, it's not actually my biggest secret, it's my second biggest secret for completing the common application is actually the additional information section. The common use for the additional information section is for people to be able to note whether they have changed high schools a lot. Maybe they've skipped a grade, maybe they've stayed back a grade, maybe there's extenuating family circumstances, maybe that individual actually got sick for a period of time. So that's where you can really give context to your application if you need it. Right before I was submitting the regular decision apps, I was on FaceTime with one of my friends and we were talking about the college application. He asked me if I used the additional information section. Have you written out extra things about yourself? That's not what it's for. And he goes, of course it's not what it's for, but you have an extra 750 words that you can tell college admissions officers exactly what you want them to know about you and be able to package yourself in whatever way you want to. Wouldn't you use that? The additional information section has the same amount of words as your personal statement. And it's technically there for any additional information that you want to put. So use it. So what does a good additional information section look like? There's plenty of ways that you can format it. I actually pulled up my own and I used it to explain my activities list because there's not that much room to talk about what you did. And it leaves a lot of room for the imagination. Maybe they think that you did more than what you wrote or maybe a little bit less, but there's just not enough room for you to actually capture all of your hard work. So what I did was for each extracurricular that I thought was significant, I had a header that matched what my activity section said, and I wrote 3 to 4 sentences on each extracurricular that I wanted to draw attention to. And then I noted 2 extracurriculars that I did in middle school. I completely blanked on it. I did not remember at all. Duke tip, I participated in their talent search. I was so mad at myself that I forgot to note that I was in a talent search. So note your talent searches in your additional information section. The main reason why I am really happy with what I did with it was because I was able to bring more color to my application and explain more and have them see me more as a doer. They already saw me as a person through my personal statement. They already saw me for my grades and my academics. I wanted them to understand that I'm a mover and shaker and I really follow things that interest me and that pique my interest and my passions. Harness the power of your letters of recommendation. They might not have a great idea of how best to help you, even if they want to give you the best letter of recommendation in the world. You can actually compile a brag sheet of your accomplishments, remind them perhaps of projects maybe that you've worked on, remind them of your accomplishments, things that you guys have done and endured together. Remind your teacher of that awesome piece of writing, as well as perhaps qualities that you want to highlight in your college application. So for example, for me, the summer before my freshman year, I met with this biology teacher at my high school. Actually, he was very, very kind to have met me, a tiny, 8th grader. Just thank you, Mr. Mack. Thank you. He also had that experience with me in the classroom in doing research and also all the way from the 8th grade, seeing how I was focused and how I worked toward that goal that I had of pursuing research in high school. And he actually mentioned to me that he spoke about that in my letter of recommendation. So it just really puts a lot of things into perspective and it gives colleges an idea that I was dedicated to science, that I knew what I wanted and I went and I fought for it and I went for it, and that all of these bio accomplishments that I have, they didn't just fall into my lap. I wasn't copying anyone. I went into high school knowing that that's what I wanted to do. Alright, quick question. If you guys are finding this video to be helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below to my channel. I really appreciate it and it lets me know that you guys like these types of videos. Alright, let's keep going. I wasn't super proactive with my college applications, to be completely transparent and completely honest. I kind of saved them for winter break, which was not a smart move at all, but it yielded some pretty good efficiency habits. When you're starting your applications, hopefully you have a college list of more or less where you want to apply to, and honestly, I'd recommend that you apply to as many as you physically and financially can, just because you don't know what kind of student that school needs. If you play the organ, and let's say the school wants to have someone to play the organ for I don't know what reason, you don't know which school just had their best organ player graduate. You don't know what sort of student that they need that year. So I would apply to as many schools as possible. So with that, there's going to be a ton of supplements for you to fill out, and it's really annoying. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. So in order to minimize that aggravation, I listed each school that I applied to, and underneath I had their supplement prompt paraphrased. And then once I wrote that all out, I actually started looking at which ones overlapped and which supplements I could reuse. Why do you need to do it before you start writing them? Because that way you can actually write your essay in a way that it will answer both prompts and you don't have to change that much to the essay. Versus if you apply to half of your colleges, you're running out of time and you have to see what kind of scraps you can use. You're gonna have to spend a lot more time transitioning one supplement into the other. Another reason why you want to map out your supplements ahead of time is actually going to be discussed at the end of the video, so stick around because it is the most impactful, overarching component to your college application, and it really determines whether you get in or you don't. More than your grades, more than your test scores. You can have amazing everything, 4.0, 1600, SAT, 36 ACT, solid extracurriculars, and if you don't have what I'm going to talk about at the end of the video, you still could be denied from elite colleges. Congratulations, you have made it to the last college admissions secret that I have to talk about today, which is you need to know how to package and sell yourself, and you need to implement it well. Because the thing is, you don't know how many college applications your admissions officer is going to have read before getting to yours. Maybe you're lucky. Maybe you're the first application they read that morning. They've just come out from outside, they've had some fresh air, they've just had their breakfast, they have a nice warm cup of coffee in their hands, they're happy, and they're reading your application. And sure, they'll be willing to look through your college application and double check and oh, where's this person from? Oh, what is this person trying to say in this essay? Maybe they have the time and the bandwidth for that. But also, maybe you're the last application of the day and they just want to get it over with and they don't want to have to think about how you fit into their possible freshman class. You want to be just as easy to read for that person who reads you first thing in the morning with a cup of coffee in hand and the last application that someone's reading that day as they're dying to dash through that door. And you want to make it easier for someone to be able to get those points down about you that you want them to know and be able to present that to the round table of all of the admissions officers when it comes down to the final picks. So like I said, it doesn't matter how many AP courses you've taken, if you have a 4.0, it doesn't matter if you have a 36 ACT, if you don't know how to package yourself, you're just gonna seem like some overachiever, doesn't actually know what they're gonna do on that school's campus, and that's not what they're looking for. How do you package yourself? You wanna sit down and think about how you're gonna fill out that common application. Sit down and consider all the classes that you've taken, where your strongest grades are, where your passions are. Sit down, think, what type of applicant am I? Am I on the East Coast, the Midwest? Where am I from? What is my heritage? How are college admissions officers who spend 15 to 20 minutes on an application, if that? What are the things that they are going to be looking for? How are they going to categorize me? How do I make it easier for them to categorize me and see me as an applicant and see me on their campus? For example, for me, I'm a first-gen Latina. That's going to be in your demographic information, and they're going to be skimming through all of that to figure out who you are as an applicant. I want to remind them. I want it to come up so that perhaps they skimmed through it and they didn't think much of it when they were first looking through my demographic info. I want them to remember that that is the demographic that I fall into. So you can do that in your personal statement, that main essay that goes out to all of the colleges that you apply to through the Common App. Again, I really wanted to highlight that I was a first-gen Latina. I brought it up and I made it actually the entire topic of my personal statement. You really need to think about how you want to package yourself and make sure that you cover all of the bases. So for me, a better idea of how I packaged myself was first-gen Latina who loves science, but I'm not your typical cookie cutter like science lover. It's not everything that I do. I can have conversations that are not about science. I dance. I'm a creative person. I love to dance, and I show leadership abilities in dance, and I show that I was very committed to giving back to my high school because I loved my high school. That's all a long-winded way to boil me down to a couple of points. I'm a first-gen Latina, I like science, I'm grateful to my alma mater, and I'm fun. Like, you could get docked down an entire tier of colleges just because you don't know how to sell yourself. The way that you package yourself actually bleeds into everything that I spoke about earlier in this video. You're gonna need to know how you want to package yourself in order to make sure that you highlight everything and talk about what is missing in your additional information section. You're going to need to know how you want to package yourself in order to create that brag sheet for your teachers to write that letter of recommendation for you. And you're going to need to know how you're trying to sell yourself and how you're trying to package yourself in creating those supplements. And you're going to need to remember and keep track of what you've spoken about and what you haven't spoken about in all of your college applications, because different schools have different supplements and you're going to need to try to cover all of your bases so that they can see you as a well-rounded yet spiked individual. So, moral of the story, I hope that I could help you guys get into your dream schools. I have my fingers crossed for all of you guys. If you guys have any questions about anything that I said in this video or college in general, feel free to drop a comment down below. That is where I will respond the fastest. If you have more personal questions, you guys can reach out to me through Instagram DMs. If you guys found this video helpful, please, please, please support my channel by giving this video a thumbs up and clicking the subscribe button. It not only tells me that you guys are enjoying this content, but it also tells YouTube that you guys enjoy my content and it helps my channel grow. Thank you guys so much for sticking to the end of the video, and I hope that you guys have a great day and smooth sailing in your college process. Thanks for watching.